Hello and welcome to God's Country Outdoors. Today a little different project. I've got a grinder that I bought at the end of last year that got set up now, and I want to be able to make some grits and some cornmeal. So I can grind it no problem. The issue is how do I separate the particles so that I get the right size grits and the right size cornmeal and nothing that's too big that I don't want in there. So I looked on Amazon and really all over the internet, and the only thing I could find was really expensive. I found one foreign made deal for in the $200 to $500 range, but you could tell it was Chinese all the way. Couldn't get a response, and even the descriptions, you could just tell that the primary language of the person that wrote it was Chinese. So I didn't feel like support for that would be very well. Plus they didn't have the screen sizes readily available that I needed. So I just decided to make me one, and that's what I'm fixing to do here. And I just want to kind of share my ideas and hopefully see it come together. So I did buy some screen off Amazon, just regular stainless steel screen. This is an 18 mesh, and when you say 18 mesh, that means 18 holes per inch. And this down here is a little larger opening. That's a 12 openings per inch, or number 12 mesh. Let's try to build a frame around all of this and see if we can make something happen. Okay, so I've got the first screen built. The idea is to have this on a pivot point, and this end be hooked to the Sawzall, so you're going to get a rapid shaking, like so. Hopefully it'll work its way down, the larger particles will fall off. Do projects like this, I always try to use wood that I've got around, scrap. This wood here, you can see this. I ripped this 2x4 down the center. That's bumblebees. That's what carpenter bumblebees do to your wood. You see them hovering around, particularly in the springtime. You'll see them hovering around, looking for nesting places. This is what they do to your wood. Now you can see there, all the way down. They were nesting in here, much like a dirt dauber. Once they bore the hole, they create cavities in here, and the larva is laid. The egg is laid here. The larva develops right here, and then comes out after it develops. This wood also has little beetle holes in it. The beetle activity is old. There's nothing fresh here. It's just holding this frame together, so I'm going to use it. Okay, so this end here is going to be the shaking end, and I'm not 100% sure where this elevation needs to be to work that down properly. So I'm going to use a piece of all thread. This old piece of all thread I had, I'm going to clean it up on the grinding wheel there, brush on it. And I'm going to drill multiple holes here, and so it makes it adjustable. And then I'm going to put a piece of PVC over this, will actually be the surface that it's sliding on. That'll give it a good slick and even wearable surface that's easy to replace. So this will be adjustable with that sleeve on that. So we'll need to drill our holes in here, get this cleaned up. We've got a wing nut here, so I can put on one end, lock nut on the other end, and that way it'll be easy to swap out. Product comes on the screen here. It's going to slide like this, vibrates down, hopefully filtered. Horn here, ground, finer. What will go through the screen goes here. What will not go through the screen goes here. So let's build a little pivot point. So I did want to show you before we went any further. You may be wondering about the angle on this thing and how it works down here on this end. You can see the bolt, put the bolt through, and then I put a couple of big washers on top of the nut. The bolt, you've got a washer, a nut, and then two washers, and these washers can pivot. See, they're loose. See that? And so it allows the wood to kind of catch the angle there that it needs. Just want to show you that. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since I started this video, and I put some ground corn through here, and as you usually do when you're kind of inventing something in your mind as you go, you learn, you figure out better ways to do things. A couple of things I've added here, I'll show you real quick, and then one major change I'll explain to you. Can't remember if I showed you this already, but you see the deflector on the bottom. That is so that there's a gap between your two pails, and everything that falls off this end goes into the bucket here, your discharge, and then your screen of materials falls into the bucket below the screen. And so anything that falls through near the end of the screen now gets conveyed back to this bucket instead of falling in the crack. And then also, I added a piece of, let me get you a little closer. Added a piece of metal here. It's just flashing, aluminum flashing. You can see I just bent it and nailed it to the frame so that I was getting some material on the board there, and this will eliminate that now. It diverts it away from the board and into the pan. Okay, so that's the two minor changes. Now, to show you the major change. From the beginning, I was a little uncertain about my shaking mechanism. So, first idea, and I had a little video of it in action. Shaking the screen this way, and it worked. But you see, I'm having both hands. I'm having to stand steady here. I'm really having to play with this trigger to get it just right. If you get it so easy, you get it too fast, there's a sweet spot. So I put a lot of thought into what can I use that would be better, and I come up with it after a lot of brainstorming. Simple. An air hammer, pneumatic air hammer. You need an air compressor. I've had an air compressor. So I can put this air hammer on the side here, and the material will just dance right off the screen beautifully. I can do this with one hand. I can move it if I want to concentrate the vibration in one given point or not. Because the hammer will wear some on the wood, I put a strip right here, 1/4 inch thick. I call it a sacrificial strip. It can be replaced without damaging the frame. I may never have to replace it. It looks like it'll last a very long time, but it's there. 2 screws, and I can put a new strip there to protect the screen frame. But because if I just start hammering on this, what's it going to do? It's going to move here. So to overcome that, I just got a bungee, and I take that bungee, and now it pushes back. So when I hammer, it comes right back. And the harder you push, the harder the teaching is. So now, when I put this on it, it shakes. Hold this here. It does exactly what I want it to do. It's easy. I like it. Planning to run some material through it tomorrow. Going to grind some corn for real tomorrow. Try to make some grits and some cornmeal that we can cook. So I'll get a little bit of video of actually running.